I'll go ahead and start the meeting since we have election of a chair and vice chair. We do that at the beginning of the year at the first meeting. So I'll call the meeting to order and acknowledge that the press and the public have been duly notified of this meeting. It is 11 o'clock on Tuesday, March 12th. And the first order of business is the election of chair and vice chair. And at this time, I'll take any nominations for the office of chair.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Burns for chair.
Is there a second?
A second.
Any other nominations? There being none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Mr. Chair, you can take it over.
Okay, thank you. Do we want to elect the vice chair? Okay, I'd like to open the floor to nominations for the vice chair position of the Accommodations Tax Advisory Committee.
I'd like to nominate Chrissy Lorenz.
There's a second?
I'll second if she, what are the details?
So if the chair is unable to come and attend a meeting, and you have a quorum, then it would be up to you to lead the meeting.
Okay. Yes.
Can you speak into the mic, everybody? Thank you.
Okay, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of Chrissy as vice chair?
Aye.
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 Congratulations.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the approval of previous meeting minutes. Does anybody have any changes that they would like to see based on, a couple of folks weren't there, so it'll be hard for Park and Mike to comment, but any changes anyone would like to see?
Nope.
Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes of last meeting?
Need a motion, second, please.
Oh, I make a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting.
I
Second.
Yeah.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Can I ask Nicole, didn't we have a meeting in November?
It was what you just voted on. According to the agenda, it says November.
Okay, yeah, I see it. Okay, I'm sorry. I was looking at something else. Okay, next item on the agenda is review of financial statements, and Deborah Hamilton is going to lead that discussion.
Thank you, sir. We're going to start with the balance sheet. With the state ATAX has a healthy balance, fund balance of $5.8 million compared to last year of $4 million. We can move on to the income statement if you don't have any questions regarding the balance sheet. For the income statement, as of February the 29th, we've collected $2.2 million in revenues, and that includes a grant of $12,000 for the tourism fund. We've actually collected $1.8 million and interest of $177,000 compared to the budget of $76,000. So we're collecting a lot of interest on that high cash balance that's in the investment accounts.
And one quick thing, that revenue, the body armor assistance grant, we use some funds from the state accommodation tax fund to fund uniforms for the police department, and this is a grant we pursue every year. That's why it's included into the revenue into this account, because it offsets some of the costs that are budgeted using state accommodation tax.
Okay.
We can move on to the expenses for the state aid. One thing that I do want to point out, and on the first page, we're over year-to-date in our flood insurance by $911 that we will, the committee will need to approve later this year. All the other expenses are kind of trending within the budget, except when you get to the third page. Well, let's talk about the expense that we pay to the CVB, the 30% that we pay. We've made one payment of $421,000. We just received the funds in February, so the second quarter payment for December should go out in March. That was a question that Chairman had. So yes, that payment should go out in March when we reconcile that. As Desiree has said, on the third page, the body armor, we did budget for that at 7,500. The actual expense is 9,500, so we are over. However, as has been stated, there was a grant to offset those funds, the additional expense of the $2,000. So that will be, need to be approved later this year as well.
Okay. We can do that today.
It's not on the agenda. What we try to do is, when we're closer to closing out FY '24, we'll bring any other overages to the committee for approval. So we're keeping track of it, and we'll just have them all done at the same time.
Okay.
And this is a good, for the two new members, Mike and Park. I know we met and I went through all the expenditures, but this is a good schedule to look at all of the citywide operations that are funded and supported in part by the State Accommodations Tax Fund. So if you have any questions, let us know. We certainly can discuss it in more detail
Offline?
offline, yeah.
Yep.
There's one more thing that I will address that the chairman gave me today. There looks like there was a running schedule of the funds coming into the state aid and the funds going out to the CVB, the 30% showing over year, and I will update that schedule as soon as possible and get that to you for the
Yeah,
next
I'd like
meeting.
that to go to everybody on the committee, particularly since next month we'll have a review of expenditures by CVB, and that's just, you can just see trends with that report.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I have, sir.
Okay. As far as old business is concerned, there is none. On new business, the next item is a presentation by Mary Alice Monroe concerning her application for state accommodations tax funds.
Yeah, I thought we were.
I think you can sit with us here. Yeah. That way the mic will pick up your voice.
Thank you. Oh, I thought first of all, I am honored to be here again, and I really appreciate, I'm going to tell you how much we appreciated the support you gave us this year. You helped this group, this event grow to a whole nother level. It really knocked it out of the park this year, and largely because of the support of this committee. So thank you so much. Let me give you just a 50-second video this time, so I won't repeat myself. All right, here we go. And I'm wearing the same outfit.
Hi, I'm Mary Alice Monroe. You may have heard of the Wild Dunes Author event.
Amy, can you turn it
That's
on?
held every
Oh.
January at Wild Dunes Resort on my island, Isle of Palm, South Carolina. But did you know that this year we are formally announcing the Wild Dunes Authors Series? Now, the January event will always be our main event, the flagship. But now, starting spring, we're going to start an author luncheon, and in the summer, a children's book party, and every fall, another adult event. We're so excited, and we hope you are too. So stay tuned. We will be announcing all the authors that are coming very soon, and I hope you'll join us.
We're very excited about this. The turnout for this January we sold out before the event even began. And we have we can feel the momentum growing, more people coming from out of town. Y'all read the details. So we have been flirting in the last couple of years with a summer event for kids, an occasional 50 people at the art gallery kind of event. And the result were the number of people who came, not only for Friday night's new event, which was way beyond our expectations at the Islander. Then we had all day Saturday, so the weekend really worked, and Sunday, of course. The numbers were so great, and so many people wanted to come back, and the word of mouth is beginning to spread. So we decided, let's go forward. We're becoming a really literary destination on the Isle of Palms. Publishers in New York know about us. offering to send their authors here. So it's really great to know that Isle of Palms is suddenly becoming a destination for the literary world, and it will bring more people in for every event. So this year, I'm asking for additional funding because we spent every penny of the ATAX, largely because we expanded it. We upped it to another level this year, and it really showed. It was the best ever. And I could bring in, we did the numbers between spring, summer, and fall, another 500 people easily to the island. And always, we know the winter months are the ones that are the most difficult to get people to stay in the beds. So we'll have December, late fall, and January will always be the big one. But the smaller events will be about 100 to 200 people. So good events, just not 500 people. So that is the request, because to do that and to keep up the level of service and the reputation of the event is a high-end event, a beautiful event. People come to the island and they're expecting to be treated well. It's not, we have a lot of fun events. This is a true literary event on the island. And that's why I'm requesting, because it's growing exponentially, which is a good thing for all of us. And as I grow, I just do need support, and I've been very grateful this year to have the finances to get people to also keep the records that I haven't been able to keep for 19 years, but I know that I have to be responsible to this committee and to everyone. So without further adu, I'm here to answer any questions. I'm particularly proud of the survey, which showed, we're going to try and improve the results of our survey for the future, but it's already given out of 150, roughly 150 people surveyed, 49 or 50 people said they stayed on the island, and we know there were more. Wild Dunes just told us that the number of nights they stayed that weekend stretched out to 29 nights, which is pretty remarkable. That's just not people, that's nights stayed on the island. People came in for vacation because of the event. So I anticipate that that's going to grow as reputation grows. So please, Angela, do you have anything to add? Angela is working as my cohort over there.
So just to reinstate what Mary Alice said, the survey that we did take was both online right after the event and paper surveys. And so the snapshot was of 33% roughly of all attendees. And I think that we'll do a better job and find better ways to get immediate feedback. But I do think that it says a lot when nearly 33% say they did stay on Isle of Palms. And when we broke that down, the majority stayed at Wild Dunes Resort, and then the next level of majority was doing a rental unit somewhere on island. And so I think that was really interesting feedback to get.
And hopefully we can grow that as we communicate better with the rentals on Isle of Palms. We still have that. That's our next big push for this year, is to connect with all the rental houses and what other Airbnbs. I don't think we have a lot of Airbnbs on Isle of Palm, but just other rentals here on the island to try and expand it. The other major push we're going to continue is, as we grow, to have more events off campus, so to speak, off Wild Dunes we were so successful this year on Friday night. That will continue, but we're also thinking of an author cookbook luncheon at another restaurant on Saturday, just to spread it out more. And it was also fun. It was a free event Friday night, so people locally could just come for free, I wanted to do something for the island.
Mary Alice, is the 500 number for the big event, is that the capacity that, or are you?
Unfortunately, yes. In fact, we actually brought it down a little bit so that we didn't feel quite so crowded. I think the actual ticket sales were more like 450 this year, but we're looking at ways to spread it out. It's just to get to that 5. We have no problem feeling we turn people away. So the next question is, and we're thinking about, what can we do if we have another whole group of people that want to come again. I'm not aware of any other facility on Isle of Palms other than the Wild Dunes that's bigger than the Osprey Ballroom, but we're considering having a second night. So more people could come, but I just would either have to get new authors or, I have no problem getting authors, it's just the big name authors, I have to get a year in advance. So that's to be seen, but right now it's 500 tops
Right.
in that one room. But in addition, on Saturday, we had another 200 people at the Palmetto Room. And how many people? We had 300 or so more tickets sold just for Saturday. But those people came, but in order to do anything on Saturday, they had to buy a ticket for the main event. We never want to undersell the main event. But if that number starts expanding, then we can open up literary events that don't include Sunday. You see, because the room's available at that weekend. It's just juggling. The growth is happening so fast that I need to kind of pace myself so we keep up the quality for the weekend.
Is the Osprey Ballroom the one next to the Harbor Pro Shop?
No, that's the big ballroom in the new, in the big hotel in Sweetgrass.
Okay.
And then there's the Sweetgrass Center, where we've had it so many years before that. And that can also hold about 400 people. And so we do have that opportunity to expand. And for some authors, they're like, God willing, knock on wood, we get John Grisham. We could easily fill more than that, right? Both ballrooms, yes. So it's nice to have that opportunity, but increasingly, people are taking note that 1,400 books were sold. That just doesn't happen anywhere. So these were all book with tickets events. So that makes authors of note say, I'm coming. And we already had big authors come, and they were very happy. And the word is getting out, even amongst the authors. They talk, oh, this is a good one. So I'm proud that we're doing a good job. But I hope you agree that is expanding a good idea. I hope so. It just cements this series. We won't go more than this. I don't think I have it in me to go more than more. But just one season, I think, would just keep the Isle of Palms with a flow of this literary influx. And Charleston is such a cultural city that it's nice to bring them out here.
Do you have days or dates?
Yes, I do, for this events. Let me tell, thank you. We're so excited, we're all booked. April 18th, we have a real coup. We have a Charleston cookbook author and PBS star, Vivian Howard. And trust me, it was a real coup to get her. So she's speaking on April 18th. On June 15th this year, Angela and I are going to grab the Palmetto Room and Pool to launch the final book in the Shipwreck series. So we're having a children's event
What day?
on June 15th. And then on December 9th, put this on your calendar, it's going to be great. The author Signe Pike is launching her Scottish historical with a tartan ball. How great is that? She's bringing bagpipes and everything on December 9. And then January 18, 19, or is it that the right weekend? Martin Luther King weekend. I think that's correct. I can't announce, but someone really big is coming. So that'll be the big gala event in January. So we have it filled. And so we're going to do it, but the level and how many people we can sell to will be dependent on support.
Do you already have the ticket sales for these events, the April?
We
and June?
just this week opened up.
Okay.
So we will have to limit, if a lot will depend on the support, because I have to tell you, we increased marketing. We went off the island. We trying to get better statistics and management. We had to hire someone to oversee all that. It's just as it grows, it's becoming bigger, and we spent every penny plus. In fact, we spent This year, to be honest, very little could go to charity because the event grew so big. But that's okay. I mean, we're trying to work that out in ticket prices in the future. But as we expand for another 500, I knew we couldn't do it without a bit more support. So, yeah, I think I think so.
I have a question, Chair, that you might discuss with the applicant. As you know, we don't authorize the carryover or pass-through of any profit that is generated from the event. And then the application indicated that the profits of the event would be donated or passed through to a charitable organization. And I know this is from 2024, which is the award that was given last year. And this is not on the agenda to review the report from the last application that was approved. But that would be something that this committee would have to hear about and approve before that is done. And I'm referring to Section 8 of the application, which is on page 5.
Thank you. I would like to know the answer to that because perhaps I could work something else out for charity.
Okay.
Yeah.
It has to be authorized by the city, and it would be made as a recommendation from this group.
Okay.
If any excess funds could be used for a donation.
Well,
to a
this year I
charity.
can report, I still have a couple bills outlying, but literally if there's anything left over, it'll be under $1,000.
Okay.
And that, we brought in, how much, what was the total? We brought in over $40,000, I think, in ticket prices. And just the cost of the food, all that it was expensive.
As we all know.
Yeah.
Well, Wild June said that if just the rental of the room and the staff would have been $40,000 alone if it was like for a wedding.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's the donation.
A couple of questions on the smaller events.
Yes.
The woman that's going to lead the cookbook author session, that's Vivian
Vivian Howard.
Howard.
She is, she owns Lenore in Charleston and one other restaurant. Handy and Hot, as well as she's also launching at this, right around the same time in spring, her new PBS series, which will be filmed in Charleston. So the timing is just like bringing it all in.
Okay, and then on the children's event, what are the age groups you're targeting for that?
We have found, we've done this now twice, so this is the third one we've done at Wild Dunes, and we found that most of the children are between 8 and 12, but the little brothers and sisters come along, and it's a family event. It's a family event. Parents come, and they have a blast in the pool. It's a pool party. And book party. I do say, we do have books. The tartan ball is going to be amazing. That's Signe Pike.
And how are you involved in the Signe Pike event? Are you
Well, we're going to
managing
provide
it?
the space, and like we do with all the events, and then anything additional, the author will support herself. But just to have staffing and food and all that for the event, some of it comes out of ticket. It'll be just like every event. Ticket price covers as much as it can, but it can never cover everything. And we're finding, interestingly, that platforms for ticket sales are expensive. And it went up this year. That's what caught us by surprise. The labor involved to do tickets, to get the books ready. It's not just a bookstore coming. So that, I think, is what caught us by surprise this year.
I've got a question / idea. First,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
I've been in the event business for 40 years, and starting something from zero is not easy, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Have you thought of using some of the resources that might be available from universities in the state of South Carolina? I think of the University of South Carolina, HRSM, their hospitality and retail sports management as a group, but also the College of Information and Communication. What you're doing is a form of communication, and the books are in the libraries. So I think there's interest and potential human capital for you to involve
For
in.
volunteering and support.
Yeah, they send hundreds down to Augusta to work the Masters. They send hundreds to work the Darlington race.
Oh, my goodness, that would be wonderful
And
to
that
get
is-
some support.
And you have to kind of craft the story that it will be educational.
Oh,
You'll
they'll
tell 'em-
learn.
Yeah. The hard knocks.
So
Here's
who
what-
do you, can I talk to you afterwards about who to contact?
Yeah.
I think
would
that's
be-
a great idea.
And it's not just the University of South Carolina, there's others. I don't know what College of Charleston and Citadel might have.
Yeah, we used to donate money to the educational program at College of Charleston for years in the early stages, so.
But you've got it
I
right.
will have a connection
You
there.
have to get to the right person.
Yes, indeed.
And kind of outline all the things that maybe you can take off your plate. Like if we had somebody to do X, Y, and Z, we could focus more on, the other question is capturing the content. If you're having this great event and you have great speakers and it's educational, are you capturing that content? And then are we marketing it, putting it up? Hey, the island hosted this weekend. I think the content that happens on the island, you have a tremendous opportunity to build what you're doing, but also capture some of the beauty of the island, the fun, all the things that you know.
Wonderful idea.
That might be my last, so I quit.
I'd love to talk to you about that
Okay,
afterwards.
great.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Okay, any other questions for Mary Alice? Okay, well, I guess I have one. Okay, this past year, it was more or less concentrated on the main event.
Yes.
Now you're bringing in these smaller events. When, a year from now, when we were looking at the results of everything, are you going to roll all of those together in terms of?
How would you prefer it?
I think it would be easier for us if everything was rolled together.
Into
but-
one-
But it would
one
be nice
budget?
if it was kind of itemized, but.
I
then-
do itemize on my side, from my part, so I could always share with you how each event did. But when I do a report, I could try to then, give you a cumulative account.
Are these extra smaller events being held this year or next year?
This year, starting April 18th.
Okay, just in terms of the timeline of this grant, we are hearing applications for our FY '25 budget, which starts July 1st. So these funds, if approved by the committee and by council, would be available at our next fiscal year budget.
Would it be all right then if I finance and then get reimbursed? I mean, is that allowed? Because the events are happening. I just don't know what the costs will be yet, but.
I don't think,
The
But
fall
that's-
event would
I'm
be
wondering
covered.
if the Vivian
The
Howard,
December 9th event.
the money that we'd be okaying today, would that be,
No.
no,
You're-
that
yeah.
cannot be used.
No.
So that event, we won't have information. For,
Right,
right, that won't
We
be
can still get
included.
information, I'm sure she'll share.
Oh,
her
I-
No,
success.
yeah.
but that won't be included in the following years.
Well,
numbers.
it
That's
would
still
be,
this year.
but I mean, I would be able
Right?
to,
The cookbook event is in this calendar year.
this calendar year, so
So
for
the
me.
money
It's sort of
that
a
we-
mood issue, I mean.
We
you know,
granted
we've
last
already-
year.
If
this
she has
fall.
any left over, she could use it for that. If not,
she
She's on her
could
own.
not unless it's approved by the committee.
from last year, oh,
Correct.
okay.
So
Well,
the
okay.
grant application approved last year was for the January event held in 2024.
Gotcha.
Anything that's left over would have to be returned to the city, or the committee would have to approve using it for a future event. This application, once approved, will become available after July 1st of this year and would only be available to be used for an event between July 1st of 2024 and June 30, 2025.
Desiree, I have kept a record, and I've been because I wanted to report to this group. Every penny of the ATAX money has been spent.
Okay, so, we will need a report on the
I will.
2024 application later on before the year's over. So that would be, you've already spent it. So this application would be for events after the budget.
July 1.
After July,
Correct,
so the
after
fall
July
events,
1st.
the fall event.
Correct.
The December event and the January event, and next year's author.
So could I, if we get a certain amount from the ATAX committee, that, I just can hold that for the year then to pay for all these seasonal events over
After July 1st.
after July 1st.
So, yes, looking at the dates, then it'd be your December 9th and your January.
All right, and
Correct, yeah.
do I have permission from the, we always use ticket prices first, And hopefully that'll cover a good portion. But anything additional, like we were talking about, promotion, marketing, even record keeping, and all that is additional. I have to hire people to do that. We have people on staff. Do I request from the committee that I could pay them just for the events and be reimbursed, or do I just not worry about that and start in July? I mean, how can that happen?
I think you start in July.
Okay,
I mean, that's my humble opinion.
Yeah, you could, in July, the funds would become available, and then there will need to be, again, council will approve it as part of the budget process, but then we'll have to approve
Okay.
the exact disbursement of those funds after July 1st. So I would recommend that you use those funds to cover events that are held after that date.
It's
Okay.
when the revenue is recognized when the
Correct.
event
all right.
is what you're talking about.
All right, then we'll have then July, and that'll go from what date to what date? Like from, if I receive
After July 1st,
until,
Calendar year.
June 30.
June 30th.
oh, good. That'll be my budget year then.
Correct.
Right, what I
Thank
would
you.
This is-
suggest.
It would be our same budget year.
Thank you.
Yeah, what I would suggest is, don't think about calendar years, think about fiscal years.
Thank you.
And then
That's what I was gonna say, yeah.
do, start everything July 1, and the money that, approved or not approved, whatever, the money, assuming it's going to be approved, would be for that
All
12-month
right.
period, 7/1 to 6/30.
Okay, and I'll just work it out till then. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yes.
Now, I do have another question for, maybe for Desiree. I want to make sure we're prepared in April when we meet, if we need to have a discussion and have a vote on, if there's no money left, there's no discussion concerning any releasing it for further events or releasing it to a charity. So is that off the table now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
We will request a final report to all of the applicants that received money last year before their 12-year period ends. So we'll just request that of Ms. Alice Monroe, and we'll see that report, and if there's any action to be taken, we can do that at that time. But it sounds like there is none.
Right, okay.
Are there any anticipated events following your January event that maybe
For next year.
should be included?
Well, I'm
in
going to start working on it
this?
now. I mean, we will have a spring event. This will be seasonal every year.
So
Next April.
It'll be the
There will be
same
another
every year.
Well, what I'm saying is,
Oh.
should it have been included in this packet so the money that's gonna be awarded here can be used for that?
Well, I can tell you there will be a spring luncheon, a summer children's event, and a fall event for adults. So I don't have the authors plugged in, but as soon as I do, I'll report that. But it'll take me a while to get the authors plugged in.
Does that need to be on this application then?
The name of the authors?
No.
No.
Oh.
Just the event.
The event?
All of the events that you intend to use the funds requested for
In the fiscal
in
year.
the fiscal year for
So you
25.
just need to be listed.
Oh, fine. Okay, can we do an addendum now, or?
You can send it to us
All right.
before their next meeting is April 16th.
Oh,
And
yes.
that is when they're meeting to make a final vote and recommendation on this application. If
So-
it's okay with the committee, you can request additional information, attach it to the existing application, and then consider it at your next meeting.
So it's fall, I'll have to do fall, winter, spring, and summer.
Yes, any events that would be supported by your grant application.
All right, thank you. By then, hopefully, I'll even have the authors for you. Thank you.
May I ask a quick question? Does the specific date for those smaller seasonal events have to be included, or can we
Give
just
them-
list like, okay, in this particular month for spring, this particular month for June?
I think that would be fine.
Yeah.
And once
Oh,
you,
good.
once you solidify the dates, just inform that to the committee.
Okay, because getting the authors usually depends on
Well, and
their
it
schedule.
can change the date, so that's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Any other questions for Mary Alice?
Let me again say thank you so much. I can't tell you, the event was just the apex of 20 years, so thank you so much. And this will be our 20th anniversary.
Oh, wow.
So we need a big name. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Next order of business is just scheduling next month's meeting, which Desiree has mentioned. It's scheduled for April 16th Does that work for everybody?
What day of the week is that?
It's a Tuesday.
It's the third Tuesday of the month.
I think I'll be in Texas that week. I think the 16, 17, 18.
We could do it the
Could you
week
do?
of,
Okay, go
yeah,
ahead.
the week earlier, April 9th. Doesn't work for you?
Doesn't work for me.
No.
I told you it's
How
gonna be a
about-
joke maker.
Could you
You can zoom.
patch in on the telephone?
I don't know what time I'm flying.
Well, we'll be here at 11, so
I'll have to check.
How,
Okay.
What date was that?
16?
I have jury trials in this room. You could do upstairs. Won't be filmed, but-
how about April the 11th, which is a Thursday?
I'll be in Augusta.
Okay.
Can you phone in?
I wouldn't want to.
Oh, you're in,
I'll be at the Masters
You
and,
don't- Yeah, I don't think that's.
How
No.
how about the first week of April? What date would work?
No, that doesn't work. I'm out of the country.
You're out of town? All right, let's try,
How about the week after?
the 23rd week.
The 23rd would be good.
so
Sorry.
the chat, so at your next meeting, we also will be reviewing with you all the proposed FY 25 budget for the state accommodations tax fund, so the entire budget for state ATAX. We need a recommendation from the committee on that. And our goal is to have a final draft of the budget for council approval in May. So that puts us behind in our schedule to have the state accommodations tax budget recommended by the group. So I'm trying to think, first week, no day works.
Of
First week
April?
of April, there's no day that works that week?
Well,
Not for me. I'm out.
Not
that-
for
that-
you?
that week I'm
yeah,
out.
I'm
Does it
fine.
work for everybody else? At least we'll have a quorum.
I'll be gone.
You're gone too on the first week?
Would we have a quorum on the 9th?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not here on the
Oh.
9th.
Oh, I thought you were. I'm sorry.
But it sounds like you'll have a quorum
I
on the
mean, I'm sorry,
16th,
the
if he's the only
16th,
one not
the
here.
16th.
Mr. Boykin's the only one not here on the
Yeah.
16th.
I think it's the 16th, there's
sorry.
jury trial, so we can't do,
Well, we can go
Oh, we
upstairs.
can meet upstairs.
it can't be live streamed. I think
Oh.
people have an expectation of the meetings being live streamed.
Well, actually, and I need that room for your deliberations, so
Do you have court on the 17th?
I have jury trials all week.
Oh,
The 22nd, I mean, the 23rd? Is
Well,
that
that's getting too
pulling
late,
too
right?
close?
That's too close.
How about May the 2nd? That Thursday?
That-
Or
May
two,
2nd?
or March, April 30th, which is a Tuesday.
Either one would be good for me.
Yeah.
I'll
Both
try.
of-
30th
March
is fine.
30th,
April 30th.
I'm sorry,
April 30th.
April 30th at 11. Okay, we'll do that day.
April 30th at 11 a.m. That's better.
Y'all have to promise me not a whole lot of changes to the budget then.
What was that date? I'm sorry.
April
April
30th, which is a Tuesday.
No nitpicking, huh?
No nitpicking, huh?
I think
I'll
you're
send a
safe.
calendar invite, and at that time, you'll have your 7th member of the committee. The admin committee has interviewed and recommended Margaret Miller to serve on Chas Acres' vacant seat, unexpired vacant seat. Ms. Margaret had been a member of this committee since 2005 to 2017. So she has a lot of experience
running.
with the group. Yes, she'll be able to jump in pretty quickly.
Okay. Do I have a motion for
So moved.
adjournment?
I've got a question before, real quick.
Go right